Go. And we're live.
And
Okay. Good evening, folks. This is going to be I-12 GIA. We're doing an election night special this evening. So this is the first time we've attempted to do this. Hopefully, Rennie's going to go talk to some folks out there, and you'll have myself and Nomad as usual. And Rennie's going to be wandering aimlessly throughout wherever he is, talking to various people. Hopefully.
yeah,
So we're just it's going to be election night special. We're going to give like updates as we go along and just kind of talk about whatever it is that election related we want to discuss. So let's go, Rennie. Why don't you start us off there, buddy? And
well, it's been a long day. Obviously, you saw my ballot. I posted it after I voted. Um, and I'm trying to be optimistic, but the cheating still factors big into everything. You know,
yeah, do well.
so I'm worried about it.
Yeah. Do we? Okay, so you're going to stick with your. We're not. Trump's going to lose, right? At
Uh,
this point, so far.
I feel comfortable with that because there's just too much going on. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
they're saying that George is too early to call now. You know, uh, Florida looked touch and go for a while. I can't believe he's losing North Carolina. That is like just
Yeah, that's
that that that
surprising.
that that's mind boggling.
Nomad, weren't you saying something earlier about bomb threats in Georgia and
Yeah,
so forth?
there's a number of all the usual stuff that's expected to happen is starting to happen right now. Some of these polls on the East Coast are going to finish up to 9 o'clock Eastern time. Pacific time obviously is behind where I'm on East Coast time. So we got the ones in Georgia, and there's a couple others. And I know in my area here, there's been one or two called in, and without giving the game away, something that I'm involved with is activated from midnight tonight for 26 hours. So I'm just waiting to see what's going to kick off. But they're going to try and, if they can't steal it, they're going to stop people doing it. That's what they're going to try
Yeah.
and do. So I'm
Yeah.
still staying with my prediction. I hope to God I'm wrong. I think Trump is going to be the preferred choice, and he is my preferred choice. But I
Mhm.
think the Democrats are going to do something and pull some crap out of their butt, and they're going to contest it, and they're going to use his felony conviction against him as a precedent in law to find some obscure piece of case law to stymie what he's trying to do. So I think Trump's going to lose. I hope to God I'm wrong. I really do. I think they're going to do something to steal this again.
That was my thought originally. That when she said that she wouldn't certify the election if he won, that was my train of thought. They were going to use his felony conviction as a
Yeah,
pretext to not certifying him. So,
yeah,
Mhm. Mhm.
and like I said, let's not forget the down ballot races either. If if the Republicans don't take the House and the Senate, it's all for naught because they'll impeach him on day one.
yeah. They will.
Right.
He'll never, he'll
Right.
never, he'll never take office.
Yep, that's for sure, and that's looking pretty good so far for down ballots. I think. Does anybody have any numbers on that? Yet?
Yeah,
I
Jim
heard Rick
Justice,
Scott's doing fine.
Scott was they called it for Scott already.
Okay.
Jim Justice is taking Joe Manchin's place, so you know it looks like they picked up 1 or 2 seats. I haven't seen any House races yet.
What do you guys think about all the endorsements that Trump, the last minute endorsements that Trump is getting? I was watching, reading something a few minutes ago that the one of the original founders of BLM has come forward and is endorsing President Trump. I think that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, go ahead, Nomad.
I'm going to say something which again is typically me. I mean, it's inflammatory, so here we go, and I don't care.
Yeah.
God bless the First Amendment. I think it's down to food stamps and SNAP and other type of bullshit. I think when the immigrants are coming in and they're stealing, or they're being seen or perceived to take benefits away from U.S. citizens, regardless of politics. Especially those that have made an industry of being on long-term welfare as being a source of occupation. Those guys, anybody who was working was not protesting in these things. Anybody who was doing shit and getting stuff for free was able to stand and burn down a building and still have his benefits and go home. Then go home in his Lincoln Navigator and have his prime steak. So it's down to, I'm going to say it, brown versus black or brown versus brown for benefits. That's what it's about. It's about perception of what's going to be taken from my pocket if she does the next phase of diluting the U.S. Constitution.
I'm going to inflame Nomad's comments even further. Okay.
No, you wouldn't do that.
No, I wouldn't do that. Not intentionally. Yeah, I would. These fucking endorsements came in too little, too late. Okay.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan should have happened about a month ago. Instead, he fucking waited till yesterday. So you know what? Piece of shit. Okay. I don't care what anybody says. If he had meant to endorse him, he would have done it. All right.
Yeah.
Rogan was just Rogan's a coattail ride as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I think you're right. We spent a lot of research time on X and seeing what's going on in there. What a complete shithole that place has turned into. I'm glad it's not being censored, but these fucking people are just delusional. Some of the shit they're coming up with. These paid bloggers and influencers, by the Democrats and all this. They're just flooding the entire platform. But that was the point, though, was to get rid of the censorship that was happened last time, right? Which is a good thing. But you really got to parse everything that you see. Jesus Christ! Some asshole a little while ago was complaining or questioning Melania Trump wearing sunglasses inside the building today. How fucking stupid can you be?
How many pairs of sunglasses were at the PDD? Listen, there was a time when people who are cool or blind only wore sunglasses, and now all of a sudden every guy is a fucking Ray Charles or a fucking Stevie Wonder. Anywhere he goes, there's people even go to sleep with sunglasses. So come on.
You get it.
I think what they were implying was that maybe she was injured or hurt or something or drunk or whatever, so that was the implication.
Yeah.
You got to ask the hard questions. How many pairs of fucking panties did the FBI take out of her bedroom? Those are hard questions that we need answers to as the public. All right.
I agree.
I absolutely
agree.
agree.
I just got a thing. Europeans predict full-scale war in the Middle East. Just came across my phone now.
Yeah. Like you have here, Rene, up here. Where the hell is it? On the side of the hell, where am I? Over here on the opposite side.
There you go. You got it.
Is a parachute regiment from the India Delta Foxtrot, and there you go, buddy. And as I said on our last show, there you are, brother. Right? It is Israel's not waiting. Israel firing his defense minister today, and the leak of intel to Iran. And the leak of the plans on the U.S. side to Iran, none of this is an accident. So there's a shift change within the actual dynamic in Israel, and they're not waiting. They're not going to wait and base their military strategy and their very existence on a U.S. election. They're gonna do something because they know if she gets in, and Tampon Tim gets in, they're absolutely on their own publicly, whereas all along they've been paying lip service to it. So European forces are already staging up for such a thing. In fact, here's how I knew, right? They issued Desert Cam, BDU, Digicam in the last.
Oh, that's interesting.
Right, to NATO forces. And it's a STANAG, a standard NATO agreement amongst members. So even the junior NATO membership, which is called PFP, Partnership for Peace, they've also dragged out the actual desert camp. So they know some shit's going on.
Yeah,
right? Because their politics isn't affected by that. Their existence does, because their oil and gas depends upon the Mideast being able to supply them. And with Russia on one front, with Ukraine, and now this going on, they can't afford to see if Kamala Harris is going to do the right thing by the right reason. So yes, I think we're going to have a conflict, and we're due one. We're due one.
Yeah.
We're due a dust.
Well, On top of that, well, along the same lines is that I guess later on today they're going to, or DOD is going to be, after the polls close, testing a hypersonic missile.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
is that saber rattling? Is that just a big fuck you to everybody else? Because we still have, the U.S. hasn't anywhere near revealed all capabilities yet.
We
that
can
we
never
have
show our
in
hand
place.
fully.
I don't
Exactly.
think I don't think the United States has the capability, to be honest with you.
I think the heart for a fight in the belly is gone.
Mhm.
That's what I think. Because too many of these top brass are political appointees themselves. In any military structure, you go above the rank of colonel, it's pure politics and
Yep.
knee pads.
Yep, you are correct. Man, we are walking such a razor's edge right now between what's happened in the Middle East, Ukraine. I mean, because they don't know which way to go either. And all this uncertainty is what causes problems. It would be so easy just to make a mistake.
Yeah.
We're right back in another world war again, just because somebody said the wrong thing or pushed the wrong button, or I mean, who knows?
Well,
There's just,
I have another thought just on that, and you sort of brought it to mind to me. Now, what was before Iran launched the attacks on Israel, and we're going off track a slightly bit. North Korea was part of the axis of evil, but from a more remote setting. Now, the axis of evil, from the Korean point of view, is in Europe because they've got
no shit. What the hell?
So you now have equivalent to pre-World War II, the Axis powers and the Allied powers, effectively built up again. So you have militarily, you have a lot of players on the same stage. Someone's going to drop a line, and away we go.
What do you guys think? Let's stay for the time being that with the concept that President Trump will be elected. What do you think is going to be? How do you think he should handle this giant toilet that the entire world seems to be in right now? You guys got any ideas? Any thoughts? If you were doing it, Nomad, what would you do?
Money.
Yeah.
Money is the oxygen of war. Money is the oxygen of everything. Money is the thing that gets people's attention. You kick someone in the nuts, he'll get pissed off, he'll understand it. You hit him in the pocket, you own his ass. So that's what's going to happen. If you withdraw and hold funding for NATO, if you withdraw even just spare parts and consumables for anything you have already supplied to NATO, now from our point of view, the logistical infrastructure, training, the intel, the human int, the standardization of stuff. Now, NATO, here's my prediction. If Trump gets in, NATO is going to expand rapidly, and it's going to include Israel. It's going to include it's going to include a lot of what we see within the Balkans. You see just in the last week, just gone by half a week, Moldova, pro-European, Russians trying to interfere, and same usual play again. I was in Chisinau in Moldova. I was on a bus tour, right? And we went from there down into Romania, and we met a whole lot of JSOC guys down there just hanging out, having a fucking party. And we said, what are you fuckers doing here? And they said, we're just waiting for the bun fight. I said, okay, cool. Well, we're just coming back here. And what's it like out there? So Israel had troops as well in the Balkans as observers and consultants, just like we do. So I think the way to protect Israel once Trump gets in is to include it in NATO. North Atlantic Treaty is that in name. You have countries now that are not in the North Atlantic. For instance, the Baltic states, the Scandinavian states, they're not in the North Atlantic.
No, they're in NATO, yeah.
So you have a premise and a precedent set already, and that's the only way to continue under what they call the UN Charter Article 5, because you've got two types of UN operation. I'm going away from NATO for a second. You've got a Chapter 6 and a Chapter 7. A Chapter 6 is peacekeeping. A Chapter 7 is peace enforcement. That means you can fire upon those that threaten troops. So if you put in, and you're going to have to put boots on the ground at some stage. There's no way out of this.
Right.
If one thing starts, you've got to have boots on the ground. There's no way you can get out of it. That's how you do it. So the short answer, Trump gets in. Trump will industrialize like he did the whole manufacturing process here during COVID. He'll do the same thing militarily, and he will protect Israel because he's already done the first step by moving the embassy from Tel Aviv Yafo into
Yes.
Jerusalem. So we
Yeah.
already have our flags already in Jerusalem,
Yeah.
and that's what he'll do. He'll hit him with money and sanctions, and then
Okay.
he'll get their attention. He'll hold the consumables, and after that, he'll say, if you want to be resupplied, and we need to get our new troops, our new generation of military needs to be blooded as well. It needs to learn how to fight. It
Yep.
talks a great game, but it doesn't do anything, right? Everybody now, there's a sizable proportion of people who join the U.S. military. I'm going to get killed for saying this, but I'm going to say it. The only reason you fuckers are joining is for benefits, not for
Yeah.
the nation.
Mhm.
That's it. It's the difference between a vet that's around me here
Mhm.
and not the vets we have now. They
Well,
serve
look
themselves by
at what they
choice.
did. They lowered the standards. I mean, they lowered the physical fitness standards. They lowered the
Yeah.
educational requirements to get in. I mean,
Yeah.
they're just about handing these guys everything on a platter.
You've already fucked up, right? Pardon me for swearing. We don't have guys anymore. We have whatever
No.
gender you damn well want. So we don't
Yeah.
we don't have fighting men anymore. We have soldiers.
Yeah.
Whole language, the whole philosophy of military readiness is gone. It's diluted. The backbone is gone because you've got these metrosexuals in uniform doing 3 years at the minimum to maximize their VA benefits, get a free freaking mortgage, and get a TRICARE. Whereas we had to go into the dust and get shot at. Whereas they get a shot of fucking pumpkin spice in their Starbucks coffee. We got fucking shot at. Right? I'm sorry, right?
Yeah.
All right.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
So
they
Yeah.
get
don't
a-
get me
a-
started, fellas. I'm trying to behave. I'm trying. Look,
Yeah, they're issued a rewards card to green or rewards card for green beans coffee as soon as they get on in country, right?
Yeah.
stop it right now. Stop.
Now, yeah. Now, no man, I got another question for you. It has nothing to do with election, but it's you because you're the most educated of all of us. As far as
Don't
all
ever
of
say
us
that
go.
in public again. Will you stop
Well,
that?
too bad.
I cut my.
No,
and
no.
by the way, I cut my own hair to save money.
You have no hair.
I have no fucking hair. Go on.
Rennie, no offense, Rennie, but Nomad is a special boy.
I'm trying to grow mine out.
All right, so
You
what do
said
you?
you're up to some mischief, buddy. I know you are. I can smell it. Hang on.
All right,
Smell it.
in your learned opinion, what is the axis of evil now?
Axis of evil, it depends on which theory you're talking about. There are, to me, there's two types of things. There's direct intervention, direct operational readiness, and there's the intel resupply side of it. And it's going back 35, 40 years now. You're looking at axis of evil on paper right now because the public is stupid and has the attention span of a goldfish is Iran,
Right.
Syria, Russia, North Korea. What else have we got? And we got a couple of other minor tin pots, right?
We hit some places in Syria today.
Well, we did.
Is
But here's
there-
the thing.
The IAF did, yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Syria is not Syria anymore as it was during
No,
the original
no.
Assad. When Daddy Assad had it, he had a tight
Yeah.
grip on. He was equivalent of Saddam Hussein in Syria.
Yeah.
There was no bullshit taken with him. The
Yeah.
other side of the axis of evil is the resupply and the research R&D development, including Pakistan, China, by proxy, the nuclear and physicists, the guys who do all the research, because there's a very small number of people that have actually the capability to put some shit together that goes bang on a big candle, right? So in the mid 80s to mid 90s, those guys were either assassinated, kidnapped, or convinced another way to either come work for us or end up going for a swim in the sea, right? So, but the in the mid 90s, no, stop. Before when Iran 80s, when Iran and Iraq went to war, there was a British company that was making large scale pipes, and they found out it was the main part of a howitzer that was being made for the Iranians, and both these countries were sanctioned at one stage. So there's another axis of evil which is below the surface, which is research and development, and which has that. So when I see immigration, and I'm an immigrant, when I see an immigrant coming and he's doing physics, and he's coming from Pakistan, he's coming from wherever to stand. He's IT. He's IT. He's some sort of electronics background. That's the guidance system guy. You've got the engineer guy. So you can have a bunch of different people with their skill set, put them together, and what you've effectively got is a bunch of people who can build something that goes bang. And that's the other side of axis of evil. So through our universities and through our immigration policies, allowing visas for education, we've actually fueled, supplied, and trained the enemies of the US and the friends of the US, because we've sent those people back to where they came from. Oh, he's going to help his country. No, he's fucking not. Someone's going to come to his door, put something to his head and say, you're going to build me a bomb. If not, your family's gone. And that's what's been going on for the last 40 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Just a housekeeping thing real quick. We have our chat box connected up tonight for a change. And I see our most loyal fan, Ann Hartford, has joined.
She's
us
a
this
wonderful
evening.
woman.
Yes, wonderful.
Yeah.
woman.
Yeah.
So you can actually talk to us here. If you're watching this live and have any messages, let us know. We'll answer whatever questions we can, because that is actually working tonight, which is kind of a pleasant surprise, actually. All right. Any updates?
Numbers haven't changed. Harris 72, Trump 105. Looks like it's stalled a bit.
Okay. On the Senate side of it, Democrats have 34 and Republicans have 43. In the House of Representatives, 26 for the Democrats and 45 for Republicans as of this time. And presidential wise, 72 electoral college votes for the creature and 105 for President Trump.
You're giving her too much credit calling her a creature.
Well, you know something. I'm going to be good for now.
Yeah.
All right.
National Geographic haven't figured out what creature she is so manufactured.
That's the problem.
She is a manufactured entity. She has been kept away from anything where she has to engage the single brain cell she's got, and she's a puppet. Interesting, you see what Obama said today. Obama went from being, we need you to go out and vote, now to being, this is going to be real close, folks. And the language of it has done. She was told and coached not to mention his name, because Trump's name, because it's going to give momentum to the other side. Anytime she opens her mouth and says something against Trump, it's going to motivate the pro-Trumpers to go do stuff. But so we'll see if that will work out. My main thing right now is I'm watching European media. I'm watching everything from TV Sang, TV5, AP, BBC, Sky News UK.
Yeah.
I've got Al Jazeera. We've got here, and of course we've got Rene himself as the all singing, all dancing fridge where he's from, and then Fogman, you've got your stuff there. But everybody is saying the proximity, the tightness of this race will be decided in the courts, not necessarily on tonight. Tonight we'll have a good indication of what we're going to be fighting over, as opposed to who's going to win this.
Can somebody explain to me how she can just come onto the stage, right? Not even being the democratically elected nominee, and the race being this tight. Somebody needs to explain that to me, because I'm not picking up what people are putting down there, obviously.
Well, Nomad covered it with, I think, with his analysis of the folks with food stamps and benefits, and they're gonna, it's that whole kinder, gentler bullshit, and other people's money. I think
that's exactly it. All people's money.
Yeah.
Yeah, but tomorrow morning or fucking next week, when this is all over with, and she reneges on everything, then what?
Oh yeah, right.
Who's gonna end up paying the bill?
Well, I mean, ironically, the actual Trump supporters will pay the bill, because they're the guys who go to work every morning. So most of Democrat supporters, if they're not full-time students, as being professors in colleges, they're actually either working part-time, or they're doing some sort of stuff, or they got some sort of victimhood going, where the old Democrats are gone. That's what this election has shown. The old style Democrat who had integrity, who was pro-American value, who was, an American in every sense of what the American used to mean, is gone. And you've had this radicalized, laboratory infused type of Democrat now. I mean, look at AOC. I mean, honestly, right? That's the quality of candidate is proportional to the quality of those electing them. If
You
you
haven't had,
let something continue, you're gonna get what you get, right? So
yeah,
it's low voltage, high maintenance, high whinging and bitching is what you've got right now. And oh shit, my benefits will be gone if Trump gets in. So guess what? I may have to go to work. Crap.
Mhm.
People are still claiming stuff for COVID. COVID's gone. COVID's here
Yeah.
forever, but it's gone. You can't
Yeah.
say something for COVID anymore. So the excuses are running out. If Trump comes in, he's going to call you out. He's going to call you out. And no matter who wins, all they've got is 100 days. And that's it. It's everybody. Some of these policies, looked at the BBC guy earlier, he said, you remember the series The West Wing?
yes,
I used to love that. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed it, right?
Yeah.
He said the policies of the last two Democratic administrations are straight from the fucking
West Wing.
West.
Mhm.
Doesn't that just tell you? So a speechwriter can become a scriptwriter, and a scriptwriter becomes a speechwriter.
Yeah.
Well, that actually makes sense. That carries into why they're so enamored with celebrities. They've surrounded themselves. Their entire campaign has been based on celebrity appearances. especially
Celebrities
in the last
don't
couple
work.
of weeks.
They don't work
No,
either.
they don't, and they're
They
not
did-
real.
they
They're
just-
not real. Yeah.
They just called Arkansas for Trump.
Okay, well that's a good result. I know Huckabee's daughter through another aspect of it, and she's a really good individual. I know
Yeah.
Huckabee is a good solid guy. Going back to your Joe Rogan, Renee, you're right. Why did we wait so long? But here's the thing: it's about him looking after his interests. Musk was not as slow to get on board, and he's been publicly
Yeah, but
castrated for it.
Rogan's got 18 plus million followers. That's a big block of votes. Had he got off his ass a month or two ago, this would be a different story, I think, tonight.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, I could say so much. When you have some of the culture that supports the Democrats, when image rather than substance is your go-to, there's your issue. Nothing is real. Everything is surreal. All those celebrity endorsements are all sound bites, but that's all they are. So it's gaslighting by a different way, but it's not there's nothing of substance. Trump 111 electoral college votes, Harris 72, and from the Senate I'm looking at 43-34 in favor of Republicans, and then in the House 53-28 unchanged. So it's Wisconsin. I'm watching Wisconsin right now. That's going to be another hiccup right there.
Yeah.
But we've got to prepare. We're always talking about self-rescue, and people accuse people like us of being, conspiracy stuff. Listen, people who are watching and listening to us here right now, we are putting ourselves, and we're the equivalent of someone painting our door during Passover. You hear me? We're putting a target on our back right now by even doing this.
Yes.
So it's very easy to sort of armchair a quarterback from somewhere else, right? If you did not vote today, right, you don't really care enough about this country. So the people who mattered today got out. People who voted early, the same thing we had last week we're talking about just a few days ago. Security, personal security issues. That was a big factor in some of these cities right now. And they did not want to put a Trump campaign poster on their door or a sticker on their car or something out in their front lawn because of the fear of getting vandalized or burned out or something. When we have that level of discourse and discord in the country, we're already at the tipping point. We don't need too much more to make us do something silly. Not us, but people who are less educated in the world and are likely to react rather than respond. Go ahead,
So
sir.
it's going to take it.
Ready?
That's all it's going to take is one. Yeah.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah.
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 Well, DC's pretty well locked down. If you're a plywood salesman right now, that's a pretty good business to be in. They're preparing for riots and boarding the cities up and all that. So I guess we'll
Yeah.
see what happens.
Yeah.
Home Depot.
Yeah. Yeah, Home Depot. Yeah. All right, fellas, why don't we take a break here, about a 5-minute break or so, and gather up some more refreshments. Rennie, maybe you can gather up some guests if you want to talk to.
Yeah. I'm going to
Yeah.
go. I'll go out
Sure.
while we're taking a break. I'll go see if anybody wants to come on and say their piece.
All right, let me get this set up here. And
Yo,
Okay, folks, and we are back.
so I'm going to be turning it over to a guest I got here, True Patriot. He's got his MAGA shirt on. He did a Navy SEAL challenge last week. I'm going to turn it over to him, and
Okay,
you can ask him the questions. He can talk, have his say, whatever he wants. All right.
okay, yeah, you betcha.
I'm
Sounds good.
going to unplug the headphone.
Hey, what's going on, bud?
Hey, buddy.
Do we have
Good
everything
hat.
working there? Yeah. We have we got sound and all
Oh
that.
yeah, go for it, buddy. It's a bit of bling.
Yeah, I think your mic's still off. We don't have any sound for you.
You know
Yeah,
that.
there's no sound. Make sure that's on. That's on. Yeah. Let's see if we can get a hold of Rennie wherever he went. No sound, Rennie, no sound. Stand by, folks. Technical difficulties. We'll be okay.
Democrat gremlin.
Yeah, never fails.
All right. How's that?
All right, we get. Oh yeah, that works.
Wonderful.
Hey, here we go.
Hey,
How we
buddy.
doing, gentlemen?
Hey, buddy. Don't. We're not gentlemen, buddy. We're not
Yeah.
gentlemen.
What's up,
We
douchebag?
did not. Yeah,
I got you,
that's
brother.
better. Thank you. That's okay. So who are you?
Hey,
You
I'm
didn't
Mike.
bother introducing anybody.
No, well, anyway, hey, I'm Mike. I'm from New Hampshire. I've been up here for 10 years. I relocated out of Massachusetts, took my Republican vote north, where it didn't really fucking matter because we this purple ass state. But struggling right now watching these poll numbers come in for New
I
Hampshire.
know. It looks like you lost Massachusetts, or Harris
Yeah.
won Massachusetts, whichever.
Shocker. But all the votes aren't in, there's still votes coming in. It actually looks pretty close actually down there.
Really, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Massachusetts is always a strange, interesting. Connecticut, Massachusetts. I just never could figure.
You,
the two
you know
places out.
something. Romney has a lot to answer for. I want to. One of the things that I want to do after this whole BS is over with is to hold any Republican where we lost anything in that state needs to be held accountable for not doing enough to make it red. And Romney has been nothing but a Democrat in disguise for many, many years. He's been the preferred option for Democrats. So, I mean,
Trans
respect.
Republican Mitt Romney.
Yeah. He drinks Bud. He drinks tranny fluid. You know what I mean? So no, we can't be
Walt
serious.
Light?
Yeah, no, you know.
Yeah, we renamed that up here in New Hampshire to Walt Light.
Well, it's like, oh, geez.
Yeah, but
That
it's a
sounds
pity.
about right.
It's a pity. It's a big pity. Yeah. No. You know what?
So,
Be
Mike-
interesting, actually, Mike. You might be a guy to answer this question. Since COVID happened and people migrated economically because of the draconian type of laws that people had in states, how do you think that the exodus, that people leaving their states as a result of COVID is going to affect this election? How do you think it's going to play out? You're a Republican, you moved, right? Your heart and your vote went with you. But a lot of people came down south here to Florida, and they were fucking blue Democrats, and they're not going to vote Republican in a Republican state. So how do you think this, after this post-COVID immigration internally, is going to affect tonight's vote?
Totally fucked red states. And why I say that is because you have people fleeing Massachusetts going up to New Hampshire because they hated the way they lived in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
So they flee up to New Hampshire, a lot of southern New Hampshire specifically, um, like just like Michigan, Wisconsin, New York, going down to Florida, California, going
Mhm.
down to Texas, and you've seen the same thing happen. It's like they were fed up with what was going on in their states, right? And so they want to go and and I'll get into it a little bit, but they go and flee to these other states thinking things are going to be better because they are, and then they
Mhm.
go down there with the same political stupid fucking views, and
There
they
you
go
go. There you
and they
go.
go and they bring their thing. And when I'm down, my father is a snowbird. He has a place in Massachusetts. He's in Medford, big Republican. My whole family is. Um, and then he goes down to Florida, and I'm down there all the time. But we're down in Southwest Florida, down in the Bonita area, Fort Myers,
Mhm.
Cape Coral, and I meet a
Yeah.
lot of
Beautiful
people,
down there.
mostly Republicans, by the way. But
Mhm.
and then you got they come down there and they're like, oh, I got a close friend, but who's a union person, owns his own company. They all vote Democrat, but their workers don't. You know, the guys that are in the trenches and the trades and everything, they all
Yeah.
vote Republican. They're all Trumpers. And but when I go down to Florida, I see it all the time. People are like,
Mhm.
"Oh yeah, I hated the restrictions we couldn't do anything, and I love it down here in Florida. Everything's wide open. You don't have to wear a
Mhm.
mask." But then when they go to the polls, they vote like the same way. Like they don't change their
Yeah.
ways.
Mhm.
And I've been up in New Hampshire now for 10 years. Going back to COVID, um, a local establishment in the area that I was going to, while everybody was hiding out in their basements and being afraid and getting boosted, I'm unvaxxed. I almost lost my job at 16 years because I didn't want to get vaxxed. And I'm in the pharmaceutical sector. Um, 65,000 employees worldwide. I almost lost my job. I fell on the 2%, 2% out of 65,000 that said no. And
Respect to you,
thanks,
buddy. Respect to you.
hell yeah, thanks to the sixth
Yeah.
district court, I didn't have to ended up getting friggin' vaccinated. Later on
Mhm.
that year, I got a promotion.
Mhm.
But during that downtime, while everybody was hiding out, we're out at the bar in New Hampshire, big Republican bar too, by the way, and this guy stayed open the whole time, shoulder to shoulder. We were, and
Mhm.
no masks, no nothing. Nobody gave a shit. Nobody got sick. Natural immunity and all that good stuff. Funny how
Yeah.
everybody turned their back on Sweden. Everybody was always Sweden this, Sweden that. We love Sweden until they went natural immunity and they were like, fuck Sweden. But
Right.
there we were in New Hampshire doing just that, and everything was fine, and there was no problems. We all we're still here, still healthy.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, on on that whole situation with the people fleeing their states is like just a falsehood and a sham. They were fed up for a reason, and then they go to
Yeah.
these other places that had a lot to offer, and they still vote stupidly.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
People are
Very
Intellectually
still acting
frustrating.
lazy.
stupid over COVID. I was walking out of the market today. There was a woman with a cloth mask on. I couldn't help myself. I had to ask her if she was retarded. She's outside with a fucking mask on. Give me a break. COVID never happened. In my opinion, number one, it was manufactured. Number two, 4 years after the fact, you're still wearing a mask in a wide open fucking parking lot. Come on,
Yeah.
give me a break.
Listen,
That's a Harris voter.
shit just doesn't leak out of BL3 and BL4 labs. I've been in the pharmaceutical industry for over 25 years, and there's a lot of protocol that goes into place, so that just doesn't happen.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that was
Mhm.
Yeah.
that purposely happened.
Mhm.
And to your point, when I was down in Florida, you could pick. It's easy to you're amongst a lot of patriots down in Florida, but you can pick out these fucking brain dead motherfuckers from a mile away, and you'll
Mhm.
Yeah.
see people out in the ocean swimming alone with the fucking wet mask on their face, like as if it's doing something positive for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just stupid, that whole state of affairs.
Pleasure to meet you,
Appreciate
buddy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
Same here.
Genuinely, genuinely.
Anybody have an update?
Hang on, let us look.
Come on, Rennie. Come on, Rennie, you slacker. Come on, buddy.
111 to 72 hasn't moved.
That's it, yeah. On the
Okay.
Senate, it's 43-34 in favor of Republicans, and the House is 60 now for Republicans and 36 for Democrats. 61, just as I speak. 61 House seats against 36 for the Democrats. But some of
Okay.
these things are going to be contested anyway by these creatures. You know that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
They will.
Yeah.
I said you're giving them too much credit by calling them creatures.
Now, I'd heard something earlier about California is staging a planned power outage, I guess, throughout several counties.
I didn't
Funny how you
hear
said
that.
that. Now,
For-
funny how you said that. There was a drill apparently planned for some critical infrastructure involving power plants in the southeast of the U.S., which was just called off about 48 hours ago. People were told, "Hey, it's okay. We don't need you. Just go do your thing." Rennie, do you remember? And Fog, you know this as well. Do you remember the term red? A red cell, a red team.
Yeah, red cell.
Yeah.
The infrastructure.
Yeah.
Well, we've
Yeah.
all done a bit of stuff, right?
Yeah.
That was the purpose of it. But who in their right mind would do that or use that excuse around election time when you need the same type of skill set to protect something from enemies, foreign and domestic, and then they cancel it?
Right.
So I smell something. I don't know. I just smell something, and there's a lot of people being very, very zombie Democrats. Andrew said she's 100% right here. You gotta keep feeding zombies, right? As long as you feed them, they're not going to bite. They're not going to think. And just as Mr. Mike just said right there, they're intellectually lazy. They're politically insensitive. They don't care. But this election is going to highlight. We're going to become more frustrated after tonight than we are going to be calmed down, because it's going to highlight some stuff that we may not have even known about. And as a result of some of the election results, we're going to go, how the hell did that just happen?
Yeah.
I see that, what's his name? The pillow guy, Mike Lindell, he's gone to ground. Where the fuck
Yeah,
is he
that's
at?
interesting. Yeah.
Where's he at?
Yeah. Don't really hear a whole lot from him.
I think
I guess.
I think the FBI was on his ass for a while.
Well,
Yeah. I don't know why.
But you're right. Mike Lindell has gone to ground. We haven't heard.
he was front and center on these election machines.
Yeah.
I mean, and he put his money where his mouth was, and he did stuff.
Yeah,
But
well,
where is he?
look what happened with Rudy Giuliani. He was front and center too. And all of a sudden, he's gone underground too, but for all the right reasons. When you and your family are probably getting attacked.
Yeah. I just think that, again, to raise the point, and just pulling this out to all of us here, all four of us here. I think we need to examine the term Republican, in a sense that people who have that badge because they've been in the party for so long, you got to act like a Republican if you are a Republican. And there's Republicans all over this country, in red and in blue states, that have done little or nothing and been passive or gone to ground and not helped. Why do we wait to the lastminute.com to get our crap together and get people on the right side of the track?
I
Why
think
is it
there's a
always just
difference
around election time?
when you use the word Republican. I think it's just like like I mentioned trans Republican early because I wasn't really making a joke. It's a real
You're right.
term.
You're right.
It's like Trump deranged syndrome. It's a real thing. They it's the difference is patriots, Republicans, and Democrats, and there's a big difference between the three. I think Republicans are it's like the political thing we were talking about earlier tonight. Why do I like Donald Trump so much? I don't like politicians. I don't like Republicans, Democrats, and such. They campaign on things. I'm going to this. I'm going to that, until they get a little money in their pocket and they start changing their campaign.
Can I throw a question at you? If you change the term Republican and put the word masculine or American man, a man,
Sure, there you go.
biological man. Because when you dilute a gender and you associate manliness and masculinity and being a strong, not being disingenuous to any females, but Republican men were men and were, almost a difference between a cowboy, a lumberjack, and whatever the hell
When
you
men
had,
were
a
men.
soldier, a working blue collar guy, right?
Yeah.
Democrats had the blue collar guys, but they were unionized, but they're also in a privileged position because unions are a form of positive discrimination. You don't join my union, you don't fucking work. That's the reality of unions going back, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is that when you take away and you dilute and chip away a Republican, people who are Republican were red-blooded males, red-blooded females, two genders. So when you attack the gender, you attack the base of what that political affiliation with is as well. And that's what we've done as well. I'm just putting, what do you think about that?
I think it all started with people going to college and being indoctrinated and getting brainwashed to think this is the way we're going to go. This is what you should do. And that's what they do to try to mold the young mind into thinking a certain way. Men ain't men anymore. They're few and far between. Once Gen X and the boomers die off, good luck finding a finished carpenter somewhere. These people aren't going to exist anymore. Where's the world going to go after that?
Well, a fucking carpenter right now, he comes up with his fucking tools. They're all eco-friendly, and then halfway through the job, he goes, "Hang on a sec, I must fucking moisturize. My hands are getting fucking dry."
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I would posit something that's even a little more easier to understand. And two designations: conservative and liberal socialist.
Mm-hmm.
And no Republicans whatsoever, no Democrats, no Republicans. That makes it easier to understand for the average low information voter.
Yeah.
Conservatism, strong masculine, strong families, the family support system, working in the trades or
The nuclear
something, or
family.
military, the nuclear
Yeah.
family, exactly.
Yeah.
That's conservatism, a religious background of some kind, as opposed to liberal socialists, which are, well, that's pretty much self-explanatory, right?
Right.
What do you guys think
Weak-minded.
about that?
Weak-minded. They don't stand up for the things that we stand up for,
No.
traditions and things like that we all grew up with, kind of just going to the side. We got to bend over backwards for everybody else, like they talk about, like the majority bending over for the whatever it is, the 2% they call it. I think it's more 1%. There's a difference from somebody who wants to go to work, work hard for what you deserve, opposed to today where everybody wants to just get the most that they can get without doing anything for it. Nobody wants to go to work. They all want to work from home. I'm a facilities manager. Like I see these guys all the time. The union guys, like you mentioned earlier, like, yeah, the union is told to vote blue. They always do. They always have. But the guys that are in the trenches that actually go out, the electricians, the plumbers, the HVAC guys, those guys are all voting red. I know it for a fact. I work with them all the time. Just in my company alone, I manage over like 72 contracts. These guys are all red. They all know what it is to own a house, pay a mortgage, pay a rent, and try to help your kids get what they want and need, and unfortunately send them to college. Like, we gotta start sending these kids back to trade school. This world's fucked. Like, people, we're going down a road we're never gonna ever get back to recover from. So, I don't know if I'm going off on a tangent here, but
No,
It's all right.
you're not.
No,
Absolutely
no
not.
worries. No.
Tonight
That's
definitely
something
has
else.
consequences.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So something I can't figure out. Let's talk about the Democrats. This whole toxic masculinity thing. No, man, I think you brought that up a little bit. What is toxic masculinity? It's bad as far as they're concerned. We're supposed to be kinder or gentler men and more in touch with our feelings and all that bullshit. So what do these idiots do? They dress Tim Walz, for example, which is as far from being toxic masculine as I can possibly imagine. So let's go ahead and waddle him out there as being a volunteer assistant football coach for high school. Let's dress him up in red plaid and a lumberjack shirt, give him a shotgun that he doesn't know how to operate, and send him out as the face of the Democrat Party. What the fuck?
That was embarrassing.
Accomplished with that? Oh boy, but what were they trying to accomplish? Are they trying to convince us that this
No.
guy
No,
has a man
no.
card?
They're trying to bamboozle the dumb people, and I mean, it's sadly enough, it's working. I had a conversation with my old man, and because we're going back and forth about politics and this and that, and he says, you know, there's a lot of dumb people in this country, and he's not wrong. And there's a lot of people in this country that like they don't benefit from 401ks. They all have low end jobs and no ambition or drive. So they work at these like 50-year-old men working at these like entry level positions. You know, like that your teenage son should work at, but they're trying to make a career out of it, and there's nothing to gain from it. So they're not making money in the market like like men, women, like professionals do, and they're trying. They don't have any interest in like, oh, well, if the market tanks, so what? They don't care. You know what? I mean, I know people that are like 50 plus years old living in their parents' reverse mortgage basement that all like funnel their money together and they can get by on not being affected by high mortgage rates, reverse mortgage, high rent because they live there, or
Right.
having to deal with like high gas prices because they work locally at an entry job level, and they're not dealing with the high checkout at the supermarket
There,
because these 4, 5, 6 people all live together and they funnel their low wages together without having to pay the other fees that normal regular Americans have to deal with. So they don't
you
really
have.
care about that.
You're absolutely right. There's recently there was an election in Indonesia, and the guy who got it after 3 times trying it, he's a general. His name is Praho. He's U.S. He is a special forces commando, Indonesian. He was trained in Fort Bragg and trained in Benning, where he pushed George into the sea up Sand Hill, right? And he has said he wants 3 things to happen: cut down on gaming for a certain demographic, restart conscription for every male and female, right? He's basing it upon, now this is a Muslim country. This is the largest Muslim population in the world, Indonesia. Very important. The 4th or 5th financial powerhouse in Southeast Asia. But he's after identifying things around the world that show that you need to sort of reset your society on, and on your there are traditional gender roles which you still need to maintain and keep. It's in nature, it's in everything. So he wants conscription for both genders. He took the nemesis of Islam is anything Jewish, and he said Israel shows you an 18-year-old coming out of high school doing 2 years if it's a female, 3 years if it's a male, national service. You have a better quality, mature adult, right? And he said, this is why I'm going to paraphrase the quote for him. He said, I don't want to have a Peter Pan type of masculinity. And he was asked what he meant by that. And he said, women who cut their hair, strap up their boobs, and call themselves men because they look like what they think a man should look like. And he is totally misogynist now on this. He's totally gender traditional roles, but he's used that as a basis. And his population is extremes. Highly educated, about 4%. Rest of the country, it's a far more Dutch colony. It's a far more Portuguese where they are. They haven't evolved at all, right? There's actually a volcano there today, right? But he's after identifying just what you said. You need to go back to traditional routes, trades, skills, masculine and female roles, family being the unit of everything. And from that point on, he said, regardless of what you believe in, you have society sewn back and kept together. We've lost that here. And what you just said is exactly it. Because there's people spend more time gaming now than working. When skateboarding becomes a fucking profession, we got a problem. Right?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Tony Hawk's, fuck you. You ain't working.
Yeah. Hey, I just got an update. Trump only needs 93 votes.
Wow.
Don't jinx it.
Okay.
He's 178 to
Put it on my heart to my
113.
mouth here, buddy.
Polls there is already.
178 for Trump. I'm getting goosebumps, but I'm scared because it happened the last time. Fog, I'm shutting up. You run the show. I'm shutting up.
No, you're doing
it
fine.
happened last
Um,
time when it happened last time for sure. I was ready to go to bed at like 3 a.m, winning by a landslide. And you got 5 states, whatever they Michigan, Wisconsin, Georgia, whatever, Pennsylvania. And when you're up by like 400,000 plus votes, and then they go to the mail-in ballots like they did that time, not one fucking person voted for Trump on the mail-in ballots.
Come
Not
on,
one
man.
mail-in ballot was
Come on.
folded because it was mailed.
Come on.
They only voted for the president, nobody else. Like red flags all over the place. That's where I was good when I mentioned Trump deranged syndrome. These people are so fucking brain dead. They were just happy
Yeah.
to get what they wanted, and they didn't even want to consider like friggin' red flags. Like red flags are red flags, whichever side of the fence you're on.
now, do you guys think they're not going to be able to get away with it the second time? What do you guys think?
I listen. I really don't think so. Like, I don't think Elon Musk would have been dumping as much money he has been dumping into the Trump campaign to lose, and that in itself gives me some hope, knowing that they put more money in there to make sure things were gonna run accordingly, and that alone really is giving me a little bit of hope here.
Do you know what they said in Europe?
I'm
Do you know,
stressing out.
do you know what they said in Europe about Musk? That
Hmm.
he would become the FCC commissioner
Yeah.
with Trump. Now, wait, what you said, Mike, is actually on goosebumps, buddy. You're onto something because if you can control the message, you control the way it goes too, right? And
Yeah.
that was the thing. Democrats learn very quickly how to mobilize digital media and online to energize people. Because guess why? Because the same fat asses watching their 65-inch TV screen who are getting stuff for free are not going to get up and vote. They're going to mail it, right? So the same guys. So if you control the Twitter, you control the addiction as well. You know what I'm saying? You control everything. So
Yeah.
George Orwell, 1984. I'm telling you, man, this shit is real. This shit's real.
Well, see, to your point, control the media. I mean, that's where they're at right now. The Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the royal families, the Cox family. You gotta look into who owns these networks. Where do they align? And so, like, clearly when you watch
Right,
the TV,
right.
Kelly Ayotte won New Hampshire.
Yeah, we got a Republican governor in New Hampshire.
That's a good thing.
Nice. Yeah. All right.
But when you
Well,
you
that's
gotta
like
when you see these who rules the networks and everything, they're the ones pushing the message. Everybody is addicted to the fucking television, so that's a big thing there. So this is where Musk comes in, and this is where he came in huge and important when you had faggot ass Twitter being the way they were, and social media like Facebook and I mean specifically Facebook really and Twitter that were like he Musk came in and like leveled that platform like to make it an even playing field again because everybody was getting silenced. Anybody who had an opposing vote was getting dropped to the bottom of the feed. Anybody who had anything to say was being challenged by fact checkers and shit like that. So like the message that you would normally share, like everybody else got buried, and then you would get scrutinized and like and put in a bucket and segregated and like then it was okay to bully people again when bullying wasn't cool. So
Yeah.
when Musk stepped in, he really evened the platform there, and you're seeing that now, and that's why I say with him in the race, with RFK jumping on the Republican ticket like he did, there's a lot of people that I know that were like they were separating themselves from Trump because they wanted to go. I don't know because Trump could be very likable. I like him because he's not a politician. I like him
Correct.
because he's raw.
Me too.
I like him because he defends himself. And if you were being attacked and your family was being attacked, how would you act? So I like him for that. But a lot of people don't. So when RFK joined the ticket, I think we got a lot of swing votes there. I got a Hispanic neighbor across the street. Black Lives Matter, all Biden this, Biden that, fuck Trump. And then all of a sudden last week he says, Mike, I switched sides and I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, I'm a Trump supporter now. My mother who hates Trump because, grab him by the pussy and whatever else he said to make women not like him. She's, and I try to educate her with like facts and for examples and not opinions and feelings. And now people like her, they were like, Michael, you were right. We're voting for Trump this time. So a lot of people that hated him for all the wrong. I mean, you can hate the guy, but you got to take a step back and look back. Like, how better was the country then? How much money was
Yeah.
in your pocket? Where were we
Yeah.
at war and things like that? Like when we were talking earlier today. I mean, it's pretty simple. When you go back to when our racist Trump was on Black Oprah's TV show back in the 90s, and she's like, you should run for president. And Hillary was like, yeah, you should. What would you do? And he
Mhm.
says it's real simple. It's all about unfair. He says this. He goes, it's all about unfair trade deals. You got the United States living in trillions of dollars of debt, while the rest of the world wants to ride our coattails for global security. So his first executive order, he gets rid of NAFTA. We were talking about this tonight. And,
Yeah.
and then he says we're gonna pull out of NATO if they don't stop paying their fair share.
Mhm.
And then when they stole the election in 2020, after campaigning on we're
Money.
not gonna
Money,
ban
money,
fracking,
money.
their first executive order, they kill Keystone and then sabotage Nord Stream. You can't make this shit up. So it's like it's pretty simple, and people are seeing it now because they're struggling all over the map. So she can sit there and campaign on what she wants. It blows my mind that the race is as close as it is. But it's like I think the algorithms were always running. They swing left when they need to. They swing right when they need to. And then in 2016, Trump blew Hillary out of the water
Absolutely. Yeah.
and blew the algorithm out of the water, totally exposed. So then in 2020 they go to friggin' Trump's winning by a landslide. Let's stop these 5 states from counting votes, and we're gonna go to the mail-in ballots. So
Yeah.
they've been exposed. Everybody fucking knows it, and here we are watching this election that shouldn't be as close as it is. But again, the algorithms are still in play with. But now we're playing at least with an outdated Dominion voting system.
They just
Yeah.
called Ohio for Trump.
Yeah, baby.
Great. All right, fellas, we're a little over our hour here. What do you think?
Yeah.
You want to keep going? You want to
I'm cool.
finish it off, or what do you guys
Doesn't
want
matter
to
to
do?
me.
Any more questions for us?
I'm cool.
Um,
I tell you, you're reinforcing a lot of stuff that we talk about, and it's good to have a different voice, given the same
Exactly.
opinion.
Definitely.
So you're
Yeah,
genuine,
That's why I'm
right?
glad
You
Mike
should-
decided to jump on.
No, man, he's absolutely.
I love this shit. I'll make people's eardrums bleed out.
I'm gonna send him I'll send him a copy of the show after we post it.
Yeah,
Yeah, please
definitely.
do.
Yeah.
And if you got anybody else you can direct to get on this, because I tell you something,
Yeah.
the importance of this is not about us. This is
Oh, I
about
got friends, man. We're all.
This is-
I got a lot
this
of
is
friends
the
that
one-
love this shit.
this is the way we need to be a political antibiotic to
Yeah.
what's going on right now, and this is how you do it. And
Yeah.
it's passive, it's First Amendment, right? And I told someone today, right? I put a
Well,
uniform on. I said, so you could be an asshole. So enjoy being an asshole. And by the way, you're very good at it. Have a great day.
Listen,
Right?
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of knowledge on the topic, but I recently heard, discussions about it, and it was RFK that was on who's the podcast guy who just endorsed Trump? Rogan.
Rogan.
Yeah,
Joe
he was,
Rogan.
he was all fired up
Rogan.
about was it an executive order, or was it what was it that gives the United States military the ability to fire upon U.S. citizens on U.S. soil if they disagree with the federal mandate.
Yeah, that was a
Did we
DOD
see
directive.
this?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was that DOD directive that we had,
talked
a
about
copy of
that.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
the fucking burying, by the way. Good luck trying to find it on anywhere
God.
online. You
Yeah.
really search for it now.
I can get you a copy, but I got it at home.
That's just fucked up.
Yeah.
And people, these are the things that are
Scary.
going on behind the scenes that nobody wants to talk about because, again, Rockefellers, Rothschilds, and everybody else, George Soros of the world, who own these networks, they don't want people to learn about it.
Speaking of George Soros, since you brought him
Oh,
up, Yeah, exactly. He bought how many?
He's
200
an embarrassment to us Jews, okay?
He
That's
bought
all I'm saying.
260. He bought 260 radio stations apparently, and
Yeah,
did an
See,
end
that's
run
what I'm
around the
talking about.
FCC to get
Who
that
owns the
happen.
media?
yeah,
Yeah.
Who owns the
He did an
media?
end run. He did an end run around the FCC to make that happen. And
Yeah.
as you
Who
were
drives
saying,
the
Nomad,
message?
that's
Who owns the media?
yeah.
right. If
This
Musk
is why
can get
Musk
into
is
the
important.
FCC, that takes care of it. Yeah.
Most
Yeah.
of them part on a very low scale stuff. When you go back in times of crisis and times of disaster, we've been through a couple of hurricanes almost back to back here in Florida recently.
Mhm.
Okay,
I'll be down there
and
tomorrow.
yeah, and I tell you now, right? The AM radio / CB radio, FCC are trying to ban that because they associate. They're trying to do that now. They found some obscure material in what they call an HVE, homegrown violent extremist, basically a prepper, and he had a bunch of CB radios. And they said, "Oh shit, he's planning to do something crazy." No, when the cell tower goes down and he's to talk to his kid at the end of his 40 acres when he's trying to bring his cattle back in, he's supposed to go back to back and talk to somebody. So we're going to go back, I would hope, politically to an analog society and to a skill set and family analog society where we declutter ourselves from the distractions of what we've got. I tell you know who I would love to hear from would be the Amish or some of those guys who have remained impervious to things for 100 plus 200 years on 150 years at this stage now, right? They're totally not non-PC, yet they're a minority through the First Amendment, but they're able to operate within a modern society. They have made compromises to it, and there's a lot of allegations of things that are not good. But the premise of what I'm coming about is that they decided something. I learned something from them. If you ignore something, it's no longer important, and you deny it oxygen for that fire to take hold. And that's what they've done. Anybody who's not an Amish is either an English, that this went back to back when they first came here, right? So, ironically, in some of these blue states, societies and communities like those guys who are impervious to that stuff, what way do they vote? They don't vote blue; they vote red. So,
Yeah.
guys who have a very basic view of the world recognize that Trump is what is close to their values. Doesn't that tell you something?
Well,
That
it's
we-
Yeah, of course.
conservatism.
I mean,
No.
these people are, they might be like outside of our world and everything and doing their own thing, but listen, they still got to live. They still need water. They
Yeah,
still need
yeah.
they still need materials. They're dealing with lead times and the cost of the materials that they need to do. They're not just like growing wood and metal. I mean, they still
No.
need to. They're affected by all of the economy's fallout too. So when everything goes up 40, 50, 60% with long lead times or unattainable items that you need to live in like
I'll give
they're
you one.
dealing with
You
they're
ready for
dealing with
this?
time-
The
They don't
CDC
need-
reached out to that. The CDC, forgive me for hogging the conversation. The CDC reached out to that community and asked could they draw blood. Not one member of the Amish community got COVID and had a natural immunity through herd immunity. Yet we sent 3,000 US troops to Sierra Leone, Mali, Cote d'Ivoire, and it was Ebola, that flesh-eating disease, right? And they went over and they got exposed to stuff, which is going to weaponize it ultimately long term. So what I'm saying is that we have the mechanisms within this fantastic country. We have the mechanisms already. We have the answers already within our own communities. We need less government. We know all that. But
Yeah.
we need to
Definitely.
simplify stuff and triage stuff. What's
Yeah.
really important? As you said, brother, you said the same thing. And you are a brother because you said so much that we always talk about, right? And get your people to listen to this and get involved in this because there's no money being made from this. There's just a network of like-minded individuals who are red, white, and blue. I'm so blessed every single day to have been to. I chose Israel or America, and I chose here. And so the color of an American tonight is red, white, and blue. It's not red or blue. It's red, white, and blue.
Yeah,
And
people
so
need to remember that.
that's the thing. That's where we need to get back to. So you're saying so much stuff that we already know. We need more people, and we need your input and opinions to keep this thing going, because it is important. Because if this goes the wrong way tonight, this is one of the few ways we'll have to have a discussion.
I
Will it
just
not
got
be like
enough
the freaking
75.
Freemasons in secret? You know,
Trump needs 75 votes.
I'm
Okay,
afraid to
well.
hope, buddy. I'm afraid to hope.
Yeah,
I'm
really.
I tell you now, as I said, at midnight tonight, I changed back into a pumpkin, into my other alter ego, and I got not a Halloween pumpkin, right? But although I am missing something here, because we had a bit of an argy bargy, but that's neither here nor there. It didn't work out for him very well, right? I
It's
fixed
more
his
of a
dental
board.
plan. His dental plan was not as good as mine, right? But we have tomorrow morning is the new America.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Tomorrow morning is the start of whatever way the result works out tomorrow.
Amen,
Tomorrow is
brother.
the beginning of the change.
Mhm.
And if we don't treat every single day like it is election night, we're going to lose this country very, very quickly.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, this is between a new country, a birth of a new country, or the spawning of Satan's daughter.
Yeah, exactly. All right, fellas, YouTube's going to kick us off here in a few minutes, so we got to
Cool.
wrap this up
All right.
and go on our merry way. It's an interesting show tonight.
Much
Very
respect, brother.
Guys,
Much respect.
Yeah, so we'll maybe get together next week and see what kind of shape
Mhm.
we're in, for depending on what happens tomorrow. As you said, we're either going to be, the spawn of Satan, or we're going to be in it's a brave new day, or a bright new day, or
Semen
some
demons.
shit like that. Semen
Remember, I said
Exactly.
I walked down the street naked. So
Are you going to fulfill, if when Trump wins tomorrow, are you still gonna pay your bet, or
yes,
or
I
your
am.
loss, or-
I
okay.
always pay my bills.
All right, should we share what that bet is, or with the audience?
Yeah,
or
I
no?
said I'd walk down the street naked on my hands.
No, you
Listen
said
to
you'd
me.
you would send my ex-wife a pair of your crusty.
Oh
old
yeah,
Cody
pay my
Whiteys
shit
and-
stain anyway. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
geez.
You haven't
mail
sent
that
me
to my
the address
ex-wife.
or her name yet.
Well, I got to see who wins what first, and I don't have her address anymore. So,
Well,
I
So
can
you
finally
probably
actually
get
get
it.
it
have-
to
I can
me.
probably get it for you.
yeah,
Because I
so
got
you said
Taco
you-
Bell's right down the street. I'll go there, I'll get Taco
Yeah.
Bell for lunch, and then I'll take care of it for you.
Yeah, that was really rhetorical, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Though.
I hope it is rhetorical, buddy, because you tell me fucking vegetarian. You hear me?
You two guys are killing me tonight.
All right, fellas, it's been a pleasure as always.
Good night, Patriots.
What happened
You
there?
too, brother.
Who was-
Love and respect, buddy.
Who's
Pleasure
screaming
to
in the
meet you.
background? Who was screaming in the
not.
background?
Hold on, we'll
Somebody's
find
happy.
out. Hold on. What was the
But
screen
somebody-
for?
195 for
Oh
Trump.
yeah, New Hampshire 8-yard governor officially got the win.
Yeah. Trump's at 195 right now.
That's cool.
And he's
Yeah.
what, 234, I think, or something? What does he need?
Need
270.
270.
270.
270? Okay.
I tell you, it's too freaking early, buddy. I'm telling
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, it really
I
is.
know,
Oh,
we
yeah.
know.
Listen,
We're just being optimistic.
10 o'clock tonight, some of these polls close, right?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, West Coast. So you got California, Oregon, Washington.
Yeah.
Those are all.
Hey,
heavily
go
blue.
to my if you go to my Facebook page, you'll see the picture of me and the new governor.
Okay.
I'm not allowed to have Facebook because of the
My
job
left
I'm
arm
in.
is rubbing up against her right boob.
You never wash that arm again, will you? Yeah.
I'm sure she appreciated that. All right, gentlemen, and I use that term with the most
Please
all
do.
endearment. I do, gentlemen. Yes, I use it. That's rhetorical, also.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
You filthy animals.
Yes,
So we're
we are.
going to continue, and damn proud of it, I'll have you know.
Yes.
Folks, it's been a pleasure as always.
Bye.
Here at I-12 GIA, our job is to entertain and educate. Now, something that has happened tonight is we are live on YouTube. Okay, every time we do one of these shows now, we have access there. As Ann, when she came in, she's actually watching us on YouTube and
I'm
able
sorry,
to
Ann.
respond.
I'm sorry.
And we're able to
Yeah.
respond to the chat messages and all there. So that really helps a lot. So if you want to see what's going on with us when we do these shows on Wednesday night, just zip on
Yeah.
over to YouTube to the I-12 GIA page, and you'll see our smiling faces and and all that shit. So everybody will be happy and it'll be good. And as Nomad so aptly said, we need more communications and get the word out and get our shit together here. And
Yeah, we
because
do.
we are the voice. We are I-12GIA, the voice of experience.
In the New York Times page.
So,
So
there you
I
have
just
it.
got it up. The New York Times is predicting, and the New York Times hates Donald Trump, as we all know. The New York Times is now predicting the Electoral College estimate: Trump 279, Harris 259.
It's gonna be close.
I'm not buying
Not
it,
over
but
till
I
the
love
fat
you.
lady
But I'm
sings,
not
but
buying
that's the
it.
New York Times, guys.
Yeah,
Okay.
well,
Okay, here's the thing. On YouTube watching us, Neville Chamberlain came back and said he's waving that piece of document, peace in our time, right?
Yeah.
And then fucking September 29,
mhm,
a guy named fucking whatever, right?
yeah.
Went and fucking did something to Poland, right? So
And,
no.
and Churchill, who everybody fucking revers, gave the eulogy at Neville's funeral too. I'm reading
Yes.
the fucking book. I'm reading the book on it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
People
Yep.
seem to have short memory.
Look at a guy called Clement Attlee.
Yeah.
He came up with the social welfare system in the UK, and that's what we have over here.
All right, guys, let's say our goodbyes. I'll
All
end
right.
the stream once we're done. Go ahead, Rennie.
Stay safe, guys. Love you.
Go Trump.
Mike, yeah.
Go Trump.
All right. Okay, Nomad.
God bless
No matter, I'll
America.
have
God
my
bless every
LER.
single one
I'll
of
have my
you.
paperwork filed with the Israeli government at the end of the month for my LER.
I may have news for you by the end of next week because I'm after asking my
All right.
guy what the fuck's going on. But anyway, God bless
All right.
America. God bless every one of you. Take care and thanks for the opportunity.
Peace out.
Peace
Stay
out, buddy.
safe, folks. As we always say, prepare to self-rescue and pray for peace, but prepare for war. We'll see you
Yep.
next time.